Thank you, Umberto. Do you guys like the hat? Yes, I'm not a landman, but I'm actually not even from Texas. I'm from India, so it's all right. I can be wherever I can, right? So, okay, I think I got to point it over there. Oh, there you go. Good. So I want to talk a little bit about my journey, QuestionPro a little bit. So that's kind of at least my talk for today. I'll start off with my journey, really, right? So I'm originally from India. After high school, I went to Russia for a couple of years, and then I landed up in the States, and went to school there, then started my company in Seattle. And let's see, yeah, that is my garage in Seattle. So that's where QuestionPro got started. So I remember I quit my day job. I went to my wife and said, I quit my job. I'm going to start this software company. She looks at me and says, like, who's going to pay the fucking mortgage? I'm like, well, I have money saved up a little bit. And so I have like 6 months, so I can work for 6 months without getting paid. And within 6 months, I have to find customers so that obviously you can pay the mortgage, right? So thank God I was able to do it. And so I got a T1 line. Back then there was no AWS. I got a T1 line, put my servers over there in my garage, and that's how we got started in QuestionPro. And today, QuestionPro is in about pretty much throughout the planet. We have offices in the UK, Dubai, India, South Africa, Australia, obviously Latin America, right? And even in Latin America, it's one of our, outside of the States, Latin America is our biggest market. Latin America revenue for this year is going to be about $8 million, and our global revenue is going to be about $40 million, so it's about 20% of our business is LATAM. And so LATAM is a very, very important market, clearly, and a growing market, and we are doing really well over here, and we are clearly, as you can see, we are investing into this market, and not only investing into this market as a company, but as an ecosystem. That's why we are running this event, and we are doing a lot of things, and we are bringing not only what we do, but also our partners and market research companies and everybody else so that they can collaborate and work on complex problems together. So that's at least my viewpoint on QuestionPro. A little bit of numbers in terms of globally who we are and what we do. As you can see, we've been doing this for a long time. I started QuestionPro back in 2005, ran for a few years, took a break, came back, did a couple other startups. So as you can see, we've created 200 million surveys. We've created our customers have 10 billion questions and answers have responded. So we've done a pretty good job in terms of kind of scaling the business across the board. I'll talk a little bit about kind of the QuestionPro platform itself and our vision around all the things that we do. We do quite a bit from a capability perspective. We're fairly broad. The first part of our business is market research and consumer insights. A lot of people are here from the research world. Our goal is to help our customers uncover insights through technology. So fundamental product lines that we have is a quantitative platform, rather. All of you guys know most of it is like a survey platform that is very researcher oriented. That's kind of how we think about it. So we have things like conjoint, magstiff, heat map, everything that a quantitative researcher would need. The second part of our business is we acquired a company called DigSite, which is a qualitative research platform. So we want to round out our offering, so both qual and quant. And that's kind of where we are. A third component is communities. We also believe that building customer communities is another way and an interesting and very impactful way of creating on-demand research. If you think about it, the research world needs quick answers. So we cannot wait 3 months, 2 months, 1 week, 3 weeks to kind of come up with answers. So if you have a research community that is inbuilt for you, so within 2 hours, within 4 hours, you can get answers to questions because things are moving fast. Obviously, Trump comes online and says he's going to do something. Obviously, every day, clearly for the next 4 years, it's going to be a shit show, but every day new things are going to happen. And you need to react fast. You don't have 3 months. So a research community helps go through that process. Second part of our business is customer experience. A lot of people, obviously, you guys heard Christian talk about customer experience. Customer experience is understanding your customers deeply. The way I think about it, understanding the market, understanding customers deeply. And as part of that platform, we have our CX platform, which is the voice of the customer platform. And not only that, we wanted to round out our offering with a customer journey mapping tool also. So you map your customer journeys and see how they are performing against your stated journeys versus actual operations. So that's part of our platform. The intercept and closed loop are components within our voice of the customer platform, which is, digital customer experience is actually pretty important. Think about it. All of us, our digital worlds are intertwined with our existing, almost every single one of our customers use WhatsApp, use Facebook, obviously not Facebook anymore, but at least Instagram and TikTok and everything else. So digital journeys are becoming extremely important, even for folks like banks. Banks, most digital innovation for banks has become more important than before because customers have all these, customers have the capacity. They're using all these tools externally, and so they want the same level of interaction that we have. And the third component of our business, this one, the third component of our business is employee experience. So if you think about it, we want to do research with existing markets, with customers and employees. So then you have a 360 view of how things work within your organization. And in the employee experience space, we have a couple of different tools. We have obviously we have a tool for listening to employees, but we also have an action management tool. Just listening to your employees is not good enough. We believe that you actually have to kind of create action and change, even on the employee side. You can say like, hey, we don't like this, but here's the action management tool, and we call that Empower, and we have a leadership assessment, a 360 leadership assessment tool also baked into that platform. So if you think about it, we are building a capability infrastructure for research, CX, and EX. That's the way we think about it. And then we kind of have a business intelligence and an AI layer on top of all of these. So it's a common business intelligence and AI layer that helps you collect data, understand products and customers from a market perspective, from a customer perspective, and from an employee perspective. So that's what we've done from a product and tooling capability. And fundamentally, we're a software company. But who is QuestionPro, and what is our kind of core vision, realistically, right? Our core vision is to understand what people are thinking. That's a good way of describing. And surveys and research and CX and EX happen to be a way for me to truly understand how you think, not what you do. If you think about it, we all know what you're doing. There's a lot of data. There's a lot of digital exhaust around what people are doing. We know 140 people came, or 150 people came to, we know that. We know each and every one of you. But how do you feel? What did you get out of this? And those kind of emotions and those kind of thought processes, that is our goal. That is my personal goal, is to help our customers understand what people feel and what people think, the why. That is our core goal, really. But like I said, I started this company in 2005, been doing it for a long time. At some point, I gotta throw this hat and retire, or maybe sell the company, which is probably more important. But the journey never stops. From my perspective, I'm having a ton of fun. The journey never stops. So from our platform, we're fundamentally a software platform. 90% of what we do is point and click, which means people can come and use our platform without actually using, it's a productivity tool. So we are not doing the work. We are enabling our customers to be productive. So 90% of what we do is point and click. Okay. 5% of our use cases are custom delivery, where you say like, look, we want to do something, your tool doesn't do what you want to do. So in those kind of situations, we kind of build it for you, or we kind of like figure out a way to solve the problem for you. And 5% of it is what we want to do. We are what's next, where people are not even asking for it, and we are investing into it. That's how we think about it in terms of our platform as to what we do and how we innovate internally. So I want to talk about 4 things today. I'll keep it short. I'll talk about 4 things. There's a lot of things that QuestionPro does, but I want to talk about 4 things that I feel are relevant to our industry, relevant to what we do. Frankly, I believe in these 4 things, really, right? Clearly, AI, I believe in it. Can't be a tech platform and say that we don't believe in AI. So AI, the way I see AI, I'll give you my perspective on it, right? A lot of people talk about AI. It's really a productivity enhancing mechanism. What do you mean by productivity? Things that would take 1 hour can be done in 1 minute. Things that would take 10 days can be done in 1 day. So my belief in AI is that it's a productivity enhancer. Okay, and the productivity can be anywhere between 10x and 100x. Yes, there is a 100x productivity enhancement models also, and there are 10x productivity enhancements. So the way I look at AI is, hey, we are going to create ecosystems where things are automatically surfacing insights from data. Okay, we have partners that are building pretty good tools where you don't need the sample anymore, where you can use AI to simulate sample. So these are the kind of tools that we are going to partner with or build as we go along. So that's the way I see how we use AI. To that end, there are a couple of guys in my team. That's Raj and Sumer, who are leading up the team. Raj ran CX for Airbnb, and Sumer has worked at Nielsen for almost 20 plus years. So these guys are the guys who are leading the charge in terms of helping us develop our AI solutions. As part of our AI offering, we built a tool that has been used quite a bit by a bunch of our customers called Insights Hub, which collates all the data. But more importantly, a lot of people have data hubs. That's fine, but not only the researchers, but other people in the organization can ask simple questions, right? In terms of marketing managers can come and say, hey, what do we know about Gen Z? What kind of research have we done about something? And because of our AI infrastructure, it's a question and answer interface. It's not like you're wading through a bunch of charts and PowerPoint decks and everything else. So you just ask a simple question, and the system will give back a simplistic answer. If you think about it, that is what most customers really are looking for, like questions and answers. So we have a Q&A interface to your data. Think of it as a question and answer interface to the data and the insights that you have collected and published. So that's an example of how we are using AI as part of our platform. The second thing I want to talk about is storytelling, right? So if you think about what we are doing as researchers, we are trying to make change. Okay, within the business, within an organization, we are empowering people to actually change something, right? Not just, hey, we get the data, we collect the data, we analyze the results, we find the insights. Okay, we found the insights, and then what? We gotta make some changes, okay? And changes are made through stories, right? Not through data. As much as people love data, stories are what people get attracted towards. Stories are what people remember. I mean, what do you think? I have the hat today, okay? You will remember, hopefully you do remember the hat, if you don't remember me or anything that I say, but remember the hat. So that's my mechanism of telling a story, right? I lived in Austin for some time, and obviously there's lots of drama with the States right now, so that's why I thought the hat would be an interesting and a funny thing to talk about, right? So storytelling. So what I would say, like what we believe in is we are going to enable tools where storytelling becomes more important than data. You use data for the stories, right? And so we believe that stories create action, actually. And why is action important? Because ultimately, we are in the business of change, business of upgrading the economic output. So we're not just collecting data and doing research for the sake of collecting data and doing research. We want to make change. And how do you get change done? By telling good stories. If you are not able to tell stories, then you're not going to affect change. If you cannot affect change, then you've actually not solved any problem. Yeah, you've done a bunch of work, but you've not actually moved the needle, right? So I really believe this, and our whole team believes this. Like, storytelling is equally important in the world of research, CX and EX, as to how you monitor and make change. And leading the way, you obviously saw Ken before me. He's running our CX business, and that's Sanya. She's in Argentina, and she runs our employee experience business. She's got a PhD in org psychology, and both these guys have been helping us over the last couple of years, or 4 years or so, in terms of building out this narrative, building out the infrastructure and the capability set that enables this. I'll take a slight detour and say, like, Ken, obviously you guys met Ken. Ken worked at Ipsos for, I think, 18 years, 20 years, I think. And he was about to retire, and he's like, I knew, he was my client, actually. Ken was my client. He was at Ipsos. Obviously, I sold to Ipsos. And then one day he calls me up and said, like, dude, I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm like, no, bro, you're not retiring. You are going to come and help me. And so he's like, fuck that, let's do it. And so he kind of joined he and I shook hands, and it's been a great ride with Ken. So I got Ken out of, I have the dubious thing of preventing Ken from retiring. He did move to Hawaii, though. He moved to Hawaii, but he's like, I said you can work from Hawaii. It's work from home, don't worry. So I think he spends less time on Hawaii now than everywhere else, because I ship his ass. He's here. So he's here. He's very passionate, obviously, as you guys, you heard him talk very eloquently, and he's part of our ecosystem. A good example of how we are kind of merging EX and CX is our kind of BI tool. This surfaces data from employees, customers, and research in a single environment, where you can look at the data across all these streams of data. And so our BI tool is a great example of how we are innovating in terms of kind of merging data sets together. Speaking of merging data sets, we also believe there is a kind of convergence of quantitative research and qualitative research. Traditional research, we've thought about it as, hey, let's do qual research and then do quant, right? Some people do qual, some people do quant. But the reality, all of us know that the way I think about it is, now, if you want to go deep, you go deep with qual. If you want to go broad, you go broad with quant, right? That's a simple way of, at least I think about it, and you want to go deep and broad. At the end of the day, to really understand something, you can't just say, like, hey, I just did a survey, and this is kind of a ballpark estimate of what I got. But then from there, you want to go deep. You want to really understand why something is happening. So that's the way we think about it. So that's why we invested in both qualitative research and quantitative research. So we want to solve the problem holistically and say, hey, we just don't want to be a qual provider or a quant provider. We want to be able to make sure our customers can understand both the breadth of the problem and the depth of the problem. So that's the way I think about kind of merging qual and qual. And a good example of this is Jill and Dan. Jill runs our kind of qualitative research, and Dan runs our quant platform. So they are kind of embedded together to get this game going. And when you kind of merge the qual and the quant process together, your throughput and your cumulative output becomes that much more stronger and that much better. A good example of this kind of merging of qual and quant is our Livecast tool, where in a survey, you can ask customers to give video diaries, like literally, just like Instagram, TikTok, where people are used to capturing a 10, 20, 50-minute video and giving it as part of the survey response. So that we see as a merge of qual and quant, where somebody is taking a survey, but then it stops and says, like, look, at this point, you can just turn on your video, answer the question, and and express your thoughts, express your emotions. And that's typically a qualitative research exercise, but it is embedded into a survey as part of a quant process. So we believe that the merge of the qual and quant process is where the industry is headed towards. The final thing I want to talk about is data quality. A lot of data quality. What do I mean when I say data quality? We all know the quality of the data, the quality of the respondents determine the quality of the overall output. We've all heard this saying, garbage in, garbage out. So data quality is something that we've invested heavily on. There's lots of fraud, lots of people pretending to be somebody else while taking surveys. So we've done an enormous amount of investment into making sure that our customers, when they get data from us, they are guaranteed that it is who people they are. And there's lots of tools and technology that we've put in play. And we're continuing to invest in that because we believe that if data quality goes down, then it doesn't even matter what you're doing with the research, but the research itself becomes, quite frankly, invalid. And then in leading this charge is okay, yeah. Tim and Chris. Chris is a friend of mine. He's a researcher in Seattle. He helped me build a lot of the tools in QuestionPro, like Conjoint and MaxDiff. And Tim runs our sampling business. And so these guys, it's not me, but these are the guys, these are the brains behind what's happening in terms of what we are doing at QuestionPro. And a good example of what we are doing, actually this is Chris's baby, is synthetic data, where we are taking an existing data set and creating an environment where you can ask questions against the existing data set and simulate respondents. So this is something that is pretty brand new and pretty relatively interesting, and we've tested it out with a few customers, and Chris is leading the charge of bringing synthetic data into our platform. And he's got an even better idea, like in terms of, we talked a little bit, we've not kind of really refined this, but I think market research, in our opinion, is going to evolve into what we call 3D research, where you do synthetic data, you use synthetic to kind of think of an hypothesis, and then do qual and quant to kind of validate the hypothesis, get enough data, and then do deep dive in certain areas. So that is the research mechanism that actually, I wish I could tell you it's me, but it's actually Chris has come up with this concept of three-dimensional research where you use synthetic, qual, and quant to solve problems. Synthetics gives you some element of an idea of what's going on and what's not. And then you use that to develop the hypothesis around a quantitative study, and then you go deep with a qualitative study. So that's the way to kind of solve problems. Obviously, most of the times you're solving business problems. So that's one way to solve the business problems that we think is the future. And frankly, this is not even, it's not pie in the sky ideas. These are prototypes that we've already built. So it's not something that cannot be done. It's a matter of time before these things are going to come online. So I've talked a little bit about what we do, clearly. So what's next, right? But more importantly, what do you think is next, right? So look, I've been doing this, we've all been doing this for a while. We truly love building new products. We truly love innovating. Sometimes we fail, sometimes it works out, but innovation is in our DNA, really, right? But why do we do this, right? Why am I here? Why, as a company, why are we doing this? Okay. Back in 2005, when I started QuestionPro, we knew a little, when we did surveys, we knew a little about our customers. It was kind of fuzzy. We understood a little thing about it. Today, we know a little bit more, right? But our goal is to better understand our customers so that our customers can better understand them. That is our goal, okay? So better, and why do we do that? Because we want to create amazing experiences for our customers. We want our customers to have an amazing experience. That's at least my personal goal, okay? But really, I want to connect with all of you. Why do we do this? I want to have better connections so that I can have deeper connections with all of you. And that's why we are here. Okay? That's why I'm here. Thanks for tolerating me and dealing with me for all these years, but I love being here. Thank you very much.